it's time for the rubber to meet the road. Where do we reckon he's going to end up? Because clearly it's over at the Tigers. You don't come back from this, I don't think. Where do you think he ends up?
I think Parramatta will be a very good shot at him. Dill Brown leaving.
Could you imagine the irony in all
Enjoy another 5 spoons, mate. Then.
But like they let him go as a youngster. They
showed him the door. They said, you're not big enough. You're not good enough. We rescued him. And you repay us like this, going to Parramatta.
They need a 6. I keep saying, like, in my head, I'm like, the opportunity to play next to Moses, like, he's got a pretty good half spot. He's got a pretty good hook at the Tigers. That annoys me. But
honestly, watching them play right now, Tigers are way closer to a premiership than the Eels right now.
Yeah.
So I will say this, as you said before, the Roosters are the automatic one, mate. I'm not sure if there's 2 halves that I could see, like, less working.
Oh, that's not going to work.
That is going to be such a clusterfuck.
No.
That's going to take the Roosters half a decade to sort out.
Yeah, that's not going to work. They're both big dogs, and they're both like. Think about Jerome Luai has taken a backseat to Galvin. Like that's how much he needs to be the man on the ball. You think Sammy Walker is going to be like, yeah, no worries, bro. I've just spent the last 5 years trying to prove myself to this club, and they've finally gotten behind me and said this is the Sam Walker side. It'll just be a clusterfuck. Like, I could see DCE and Sam Walker working more because I could see DCE adjusting around because he's old enough to be, okay, this is the only way this is going to work. What other... Because, like, there's got to be more than... There's no way they say things like, we're not reviewing the offer, if it is true that was what was said, unless there has been some kind of indication.
Could Manly be the side?
100% they could. Like, they've got $1 million sitting there ready to go. Is it young Joey Walsh? Is a 7? More of a 7 or a 6?
I believe so.
What about South? Cody Walker's going to retire by then. You'd think.
Wayne Bennett
he's
magic.
He's on a lot of money himself. They haven't been spoken about, but it's 2 years away.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wayne Bennett magic is that is one big factor in the negotiations that a young player would say, but he's not going to be coaching
He's not going to
forever.
be there. I don't get that. I think he's more likely to pay for the other New Zealand side or PNG or something like that than be at South. Like, I don't think Wayne's going to be there.
See, Manly for me, I don't get that either because I'm like, they lost DCE. They're not a premiership threat anymore, like respectfully. In my opinion, now granted, when they come out next year without him and they kill it, I'll say, okay, I was wrong. But right now, I don't see them as a premiership threat without DCE in that side.
Very fair, yeah.
So I look across the and I just go, the most exciting team out of the lot right now, and we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but on the field, Tigers excite the shit out of me. Like, it genuinely is like, mate, like, it's an exciting club to be at right now. And I look across, I go, Manly, we don't know what they're going to be like. South, Wayne will be gone. Roosters, I don't see him and Sam Walker. I mean, if they did click, it would be unstoppable, but it would have to be like Einstein kind of mathematics to make that click.
Robbo also has recruits in the spine, an extended spine when you include Brandon Smith as a 9 or a 13 in recent years that have made no sense in terms of like clicking and stepping on each other's toes and contrasting styles, and they haven't worked out. Maybe his season goes, no, I can make it work.
I can make it work, yeah.
Penrith?
Okay.
Like, throwing teams out.
100%.
Like,
that would actually, like him and Cleary, I know that Cleary is the big dog, but at the same time, I feel like Cleary's enough of a big dog for Galvin to go, okay.
They would make it work. Penrith
are a basket case at the moment. Why would you want to go there? They're 1-5.
But Penrith wouldn't offer him a crazy deal. They don't say, mate, you're getting a 2 or 3 year deal, that's it.
You can't partner Nathan Cleary. Will win you.
But as you said, if his chase is a premiership.
Okay.
Parramatta makes sense, right? Like, loves the club, next to Mitch Moses.
He's been spotted catching up with Mitch Moses a little bit. So,
and that
is Mitch Moses' agent the same guy as well? It is, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure
yes.
It is.
Well, yeah, there's a...
Well, he supported Parramatta growing up, right?
Yeah, but they let him go. Yeah. They shattered his dreams. They showed him the door. They said he wasn't big enough.
There could be a new coaching and recruitment there that say, mate, that wasn't us, that was them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitch Moses is managed by Isaac Moses.
Well, there you go.
There's obviously the other club, but I just don't know how it'll work. Like, could Canterbury be an option, a team on the rise? But I just with Burton,
Not with
and
them
him
two.
wouldn't
They need a
work,
seven.
right?
I don't think they'd work.
And also, like, I'm at the Dogs is just like, mate, just whatever plan you got, stick to it. I reckon they're just going so friggin' well.
Could it be a complete left field like rugby union or something like that?
Fuck, I hope not.
Jeez, yeah, that would suck.
That one, I'd probably like that option the most out of all the ones we've discussed so far.
I mean the Warriors. I don't know. Like, I know it's because it's moving New Zealand. I get all that, but like, they'd have money.
I don't know
Surely.
about
I'm just throwing it up there because
The
like
more
they
that-
always get forgotten.
The more we talk about it, the more it feels like he's probably going to Parramatta.
But why would you do that?
Like, exactly. Why wouldn't you take a little bit less, to stay at a club on the rise rather than those guys don't look like they're going anywhere at the moment, really.
I don't mind Katoa Galvin. I don't mind that at all.
I wouldn't be if I were the Dolphins. I don't reckon they'd gel overly well personally.
See, I don't
I
know.
think Katoa needs to be ball dominant. I think we've seen that over the last few weeks.
I don't know. I reckon
Just
they'd go.
just throwing it out there because there's been talk about it over the years. Like rumours, Cam Munster's wanted to head home for years, but they're true or not, I don't know. New franchise coming in soon, like Melbourne. And you know what? If Galvin, I'm looking at Galvin going, I personally think he should probably give the Tigers a little bit more respect in this situation, right or wrong, whatever. If it turns out that there's an offer to go to like Melbourne, I go, okay, I can move the needle a little bit for you there.
Yeah, it would. Bellamy. Yeah. I mean, they are truly about to win a premiership at least in the next 3 years or so. Oh man, what's crazy is I really don't. Nothing really makes that much sense. That's
Yes.
what's so strange about it all. Nothing really
Once
jumps
again,
out.
2 years ago, if we're having this same conversation, like it's a completely different situation. But I think you guys are on the rise.
I reckon right now the Tigers make the most sense.
Yeah. And I just think he would be so loved by that fan base. Like as I said, he's just got so much grace with that fan base. Like he could have a poor year, and I think a lot West Tigers fans would go, "Bro, that's our boy." When we were nothing, he did everything for us.
Yeah.
I just think that's worth. It's worth infinite amount of money. You can't buy that stuff.
It will be interesting to see how the fans react on Easter Monday.
Ooh, jeez.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because he hasn't done anything wrong. I get all the whole loyalty this, loyalty that, but
Yeah,
he
people
is-
will be let. Yeah, look, I just think if he was at any other club until this point, there's no way he'd be getting any offers like this.
Well, yeah.
He wouldn't have played a handful of games at most.
And once again, like if I'm the Tigers, I'm looking at Latu Finer going,
Sweet.
fucking
Sweet.
good, Galvin, but we're bigger than one man.
They have a great backup.
Hey, what's incredible, the Tigers deserve a massive rap for, is the fact that they might be about to lose Galvin. And yes, it's a big loss, but we're not sitting and going, holy shit, it's a complete disaster. They're going to fall off a cliff. Like, Faino is a bloody good player. Is he as good as Galvin? Not yet, but we never know. How
It could be.
Yeah, he could be. We don't know.
Yeah, he's a great. And if he was at another club and we were thinking, oh shit, who are they going to get? He'd probably be at the top of that list. If he'd put together the same resume at other clubs.
If Galvin stayed, realistically, you'd probably lose Fino.
Yeah.
Because Talon Silva, he's killing it. He's probably a 14 for a while.
Yep.
So I think you probably lose Fino. So I was like, you know what? Whatever.
Wow. Oh, commiserations, mate.
Thank you.
That sucks. I honestly feel pain for you. That sucks.
Is there part of you though that's sort of proud of your club though? Like, is there that angle?
I think
to it,
I'm
or is
just
it
still in
hurting
shock.
so much?
I can't fully. I haven't fully processed it. I will have processed it by the time I jump on win, learn or draw 6 o'clock tonight.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
But I don't know. I still don't, I can't answer that yet.
Yeah, fair.
And I have to say, from a player's perspective, I know people hate this, but like, we've just heard one side of the story. We don't that doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly what happened. But I'm going to give the club the benefit of the doubt that that's what happened. But we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
We got
We don't
Mobsy
know.
on the job next week.
Mobsy on the job.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be in there, mate.
Well, from the perspective of Rube, maybe to answer your question a little bit, if coming out saying that now means we keep Latu Fainu now, then maybe I'm
rather than losing both.
rather than waiting too long, he leaves and then Fainu goes and gets a deal somewhere else as well, starts killing it, and then we've got no one. Maybe from that perspective, if it pans out like that, maybe it'll be a good thing that we've been So,
so he's there until the end of 26 as it stands right now.
as it stands right now.
Is there a world where there's a new franchise coming in 27, or is that too early?
No, I doubt it.
They were looking at Perth, but I think that ship might have
way.
sailed by now.
That would literally have to get done in 12 months. I'd say 28 would be the earliest.
Well, 28 is locked in for PNG.
PNG. Yeah, wow. So Dave Riccio has been quoted. He said, at a meeting last week, Lachy Galvin's management instructed the NRL West Tigers to refrain from submitting an offer to extend his future at the club. On Monday, the club has declared the young half won't be at the club beyond 2026. So, I mean, that says what, the management said don't put in an offer for him to be extended to the club, which like you're basically saying not that I don't want to be here, but at the very least, games are about to be played. We were speaking a little bit about it off air now that we've had a little bit of a break to try and gather ourselves. Hammy showed a lot of strength.
Thank you.
A lot of strength. Really appreciate that strength.
Thanks. You're welcome.
And stay tuned. Win, lose, or learn.
Win, learn, or draw. We never lose. We never lose.
Okay,
we either win or we learn, and we're learning a lot today.
A key about all this, and we spoke about it off air, is you don't, unless a bloke is all the way in, you don't want to be paying him $1 million. Now, that doesn't mean that he couldn't have played well or whatever, but there is a give and take of the people in my club that I'm paying $1 million, they need to be so keen to be here. They can't even be thinking. I understand the idea of yes, Galvin's a professional athlete. He can test the market. Absolutely, he can test the market. But a club can also say the people that we offer $1 million need to be all the way in. And so, I think, I said this to Hammy before, do you really want a guy at the club that you're giving $1 million that hesitates as to whether he'll take that or not? And I know it's in a perfect world of he should be able to negotiate and look at other places. But I personally think if I was a club running a club and I offered a guy $1 million and he was don't put that offer in, I'd be well, you clearly don't want to be here that much. That's a lot of money. For example, when the Broncos went to Paddy Carrigan and offered him unders because he's on unders right now, do you think he hesitated at all?
No.
I don't think he did. And that's the kind of importance I think Lachy Galvin would have had at the club. So I think it's a win-win for both parties, really. You've got a guy that is probably going to get a bigger offer elsewhere, or at least the same, who wanted to test the open market, which is totally fine. And you look at the Tigers, we spoke about this off air as well, Luai's been the man before. In the biggest games possible, in Origin, for Samoa, for the Penrith Panthers. So, he's been taking a step back recently. All he needs to do now is just take a little bit more of a step forward and you just bring the young guys through. Yes, it's going to be a loss, Lachy Galvin, no denying. The guy is a special, special talent. But, as I said, at the moment, you're getting almost half of Luai's powers. You're getting a guy that's just all right, I'll step back, let Galvin be the man. All he'll need to do now is go, okay, well, I'll step forward, I'll become the man now. It's not as doom and gloom as that initial impact of he's leaving, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I like the standard the Tigers are setting here. No one's bigger than the club. We've offered you a lot. You don't want to be here bad enough. Okay.
Very strange, the whole don't put an offer in. That is so strange.
Well, yeah.
Don't you reckon, Timmy?
Yeah, as you said, Kemi, the wee break consensus there was that if he doesn't want to be there, we don't want him, especially... It's not a bloke you're offering $400,000. It's $1 million.
Over 5 years.
As we alluded to it before, but as Hammy said, they haven't shortchanged him and gone, you're not worth $1 million. A 19-year-old who's had one season in the NRL, one and a bit. It's a lot of money.
It's 5 years too, not 3 years.
If he doesn't want to take that, 5 years, and you go, all right. And I said it before, but Latu Fainu, you've got a terrific young half coming through who you'd probably lose otherwise. He's a potential star. Him and Jerome Luai, perfect for each other. Luai becomes the main man. Sweet.
And that's where I look at it and I go, initially when the news broke, it seemed like he was still just umming and ahhing. I might go to the open market, I might not. And that's where I'm well, you just keep that conversation open. You keep talking. You keep watching him play good footy. But if the fact that his management said don't put in an offer, that's when that's red lights where you go, okay, we might be getting played here.
Big red flag, isn't it? Yeah. At least, you're right. At least this kind of gives it a bit of closure. Doing a bit of thinking and having a bit of a look at some of the feedback already, getting in some of the inboxes. One person said, if you lose one Lachy Galvin, and that means you get to keep 3 Fainu brothers. I don't know, bit of perspective, maybe that's net good result. You know, it's obviously hurts a little bit off the bat because he's going to be a great player and he's been so good so far. But yeah, we have got other guys in the squad who I'm confident can step up and do a really good role. And you know, Latu Fine is one of those. So you know, it's not all doom and gloom, as you say.
Yeah.
So
and also, to be totally honest, the facts of the matter is he has agitated to get out before. And the club went and said, no, let's work this out. Let's work this out. So, you know, the club has done quite a lot to make him happy. You know, last time he wanted a release because they were losing and he was struggling with that and he's so used to winning. The club bent over backwards and understood and, you know, offered him extensions. So, you know, you put everything into context. The more I learn as the minutes kind of tick on since we first found out about it, the more I kind of understand where the Tigers are coming from. I do.
Yeah, and mate, as you said before, Galvin's got every right to go out and get every dollar or whatever he wants, and good on him. He should go and do that. But like, I think it's just another good reminder. Like, you look at the Manly Seagulls at the moment. Like, Seagulls aren't going to fall into a heap once DCE leaves. There is a club that is there that they will. You know, every clubs aren't built on one dude. And clubs certainly aren't built on really, really talented teenagers. We spoke off camera in the break too. Like, I love watching the Tigers at the moment, but they're sure as fuck not going to win a comp with the way they're playing at the moment. You've got a 4-time premiership winning ball player in Jerome Luai who's just sitting back and just letting Galvin run and offload and run out of structure all the time. Like, you don't win comps like that. I love Galvin. He's incredibly talented, but I think
to be refined.
It needs to be refined 100%. And the only reason why he's going to get offered this huge amount of money now is because the Tigers have allowed him to play like that. And I think you'll be better balanced with Latu and Jerome there, personally.
I think that, like, I agree with you in regards to, like, to win a premiership, you need to have these really strong systems. And I believe that eventually they would have refined it to bring Galvin into that system and it would have worked really well. But at the end of the day, I think, like, maybe I'm being a bit naive, but I think it's like both parties are a winner. Like, Galvin has pushed a little bit for this to happen before. They managed it so that he stayed. The Tigers have come out of this looking really strong. Like now, any negotiation they go into with player managers, if those managers want to play chicken with them, they're just going to be like, bruh, you think we're going to play chicken with you when we just had one of these juniors where we gave this huge opportunity to where everyone is frothing after him. We cut that deal off with like 5 months before the cutoff date. And so going into negotiations now as a Tigers management is going to be substantially easier than it used to be. So there's a lot of wins from this. I actually, like, the more I kind of sit back and look at it and go, you don't want to pay a bloke $1 million who doesn't desperately want to be there. You know, they get a lot of wins in negotiation tables now going forward, the Tigers. And then Lachy Galvin gets what he wants, which is a fucking gigantic contract at a club that he wants to be at. And so it's like win-win, win-win. And I know it's not going to be painted like that. And, you know, I know Galvin's probably going to cop a lot of negativity, but you know, as I said a million times before, he's well within his rights to do what he's doing. Yep, it hurts, it stings, but he's well within his rights. He's a professional athlete.